Bem-vindos ao nosso espaço, um mergulho profundo nos assuntos mais interessantes de esportes, ciências e temas gerais do momento. Aqui você vai encontrar conteúdo de qualidade, com análises empolgantes e descobertas fascinantes que vão expandir seus horizontes. Nossa missão é trazer informação relevante de forma dinâmica e descontraída. Queremos que você faça parte dessa jornada incrível de conhecimento e diversão. Se gostar do nosso conteúdo, não esqueça de deixar seu like e se inscrever no canal para não perder nenhuma novidade. Ative o sininho também. Aproveite!
If you love science, don't forget to like and subscribe. Have you ever felt a pang of regret that seems to swirl in your mind, refusing to settle? We often think of memories as static files stored in a cabinet, but neurobiology and physics suggest something far more dynamic. In fact, if we look closely at the way emotional memories move through our consciousness, they behave remarkably like a fluid in motion. This isn't just a poetic metaphor, it is a framework for understanding the energy, flow, and chaos of the human experience. To understand the fluid dynamics of regret, we must first look at the concept of laminar versus turbulent flow. In physics, laminar flow occurs when a fluid travels in smooth, parallel layers. This is like a fleeting thought. It enters the mind, moves through the processing centers, and exits without leaving a mark. But when a memory is charged with intense emotion, like regret, it undergoes a transition. It hits what physicists call the Reynolds number of the soul. In fluid mechanics, the Reynolds number predicts whether a flow will be smooth or chaotic based on its velocity and viscosity. When an event is traumatic or deeply regrettable, the velocity of the emotional impact increases, pushing the memory into a state of turbulence. Instead of flowing smoothly, the memory begins to form eddies and vortices. These are the stuck thoughts we call rumination. In a turbulent liquid, energy is transferred from large scales to smaller and smaller scales in a process known as an energy cascade. Regret works the same way. A major life event, a missed opportunity or a broken relationship, starts as a large, overwhelming wave. As we dwell on it, that large regret breaks down into smaller, more intricate details. We begin to obsess over tiny moments, specific words, or even facial expressions from years ago. These are the Kolmogorov microscales of our psyche, tiny, spinning whirlpools of thought that consume massive amounts of cognitive energy. Another critical factor is viscosity, or the thickness of the fluid. Think of the difference between water and honey. Some memories have low viscosity, they are light and move quickly through our system. But regret is often highly viscous. It is sticky. It clings to the walls of our neural pathways, slowing down our ability to move forward. This cognitive stickiness is why certain regrets feel heavy. They require more force to push out of the way. Neurologically, this relates to the way the amygdala and the hippocampus interact. The amygdala adds the emotional heat, which lowers the threshold for turbulence, while the hippocampus tries to map the event. If the heat is too high, the fluid never settles. We also see the phenomenon of backflow. In fluid systems, obstructions can cause a liquid to move backward against the main current. Regret acts as a psychological obstruction. It creates a counter-current that pulls our attention away from the present and back into the past. This creates a feedback loop where the energy of the regret is constantly being recycled, never reaching a state of equilibrium. But why does our brain do this? Evolutionarily, turbulence serves a purpose. In a river, turbulent flow helps mix nutrients and oxygen. In the mind, the chaotic mixing of a regretful memory is an attempt to extract every possible lesson from a mistake to ensure it never happens again. The brain is trying to find a configuration where the flow becomes laminar once more. To heal, we must decrease the emotional Reynolds number. This is often achieved through a process called cognitive dampening. By talking through a regret, reframing the narrative, or practicing mindfulness, we effectively introduce friction that slows down the turbulent eddies. We are lowering the velocity of the thought until the whirlpools dissipate and the memory can finally flow out into the sea of long-term storage, no longer spinning in place. Understanding our emotions through the lens of physics allows us to see that our struggles aren't just in our heads. They are part of a complex, energetic system governed by laws as real as gravity. The next time you find yourself caught in a swirl of what ifs, remember that you are simply navigating a temporary state of internal turbulence. Like all fluids, eventually, the energy will dissipate, and the water will clear. For more incredible facts like this, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications.